Hello and welcome everyone back to Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker, as we are surrounded by friends and ready to finish off the level 87 quest. However, thanks to Polyglot in the chat while Amy was streaming on Saturday, we did some leveling, and since my Dragoon is already level 90, we finally got my red mage up to 88, and I spent a bunch to get the highest level equipment I could get at the moment. So my red mage is quite steampunk, but it kind of works. It kind of works. And then Polyglot was also very kind and gifted me an entire set of Dragoon armor for oops, 1 second, there we go, didn't save it. Dragoon armor. Don't like the helmet, not too big on the helmet, but basically I am set for Dawn Trail as my Dragoon. Not the prettiest armor in the world or anything like that, but sort of fits a Dragoon and definitely fits the theme of all this. But first we'll be doing all this. Of course, we'll get our red mage up next instead. So that is the current state. Ah, I see. It's why it's like that. It's because I didn't upload my stuff from the previous from when I was playing off on my laptop. But we're good now. Oh yeah, I have this hat. I don't know how I feel about the hat. The hat doesn't work for me. This thing, it'd be fine if it was a little bit wasn't hanging down, but I'm gonna get rid of the hat. And now Amy's here. We got Amy here. But yeah, that is. Oh, you guys actually like the hat? I guess I can leave the hat on. I don't know. I mean, the hat itself is fine. It's this little doodad here hanging down that I'm not sure of. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to properly fit my head. Which is just sort of like me in general. Anyway. I'm just at the yeah, the main aetheryte. Oops. Yeah, that one. So there were many contenders for worst hat. Okay, so yeah, I see people. Alpha was leaving everybody in suspense. So for those who weren't here yesterday, we've had some car issues. Yeah, Amy's just a timing thing, but mine could potentially be a lot. I don't know yet. I'll be finding out on Thursday. That's when it's going in. So I guess technically Friday. By the end of Thursday, I should know how bad my car is. How bad the shape my car is in. What that'll ultimately end up being, we'll find out. But because of that, yeah, really hoping it's under warranty. We are likely going to have to push up our next subathon. So I actually got a chance to chat with Fairy Master Ninja and Alpha about all of our ideas from yesterday, all the subathon ideas that were being pushed out. And there were two that they ended up enjoying the most, or liking the idea of the most. One that they came up with, or sort of thought could be a lot of fun, and one that was sort of brought up amongst everybody else. So they kind of want to get your input as well. That's what they want to see before we finally decide. So, which would you guys prefer? A Bloodborne subathon. That's the one from the suggestions we did. So the Bloodborne subathon, where we every time we die, just have crazy things happen. Play through as much of Bloodborne as we can. Very much in the same vein as Yakuza 0. The other option that they came up with is Never finished Tears of the Kingdom. I got all the tears. I did. Yes, I didn't see all the kingdom. I got all the tears. I've done the Rito and the Goron, but I've never finished it. So it'd be a subathon built around me finishing up Tears of the Kingdom while doing as much else as possible as well. So still plenty of depths to explore, still plenty of shrines to find, all that stuff. Oh, it's definitely enough. Trust me, I could, if I crit pathed it, Tears of the Kingdom would be no time at all. But if it was, but if I do a bunch of stuff, which is the more likely option, that could definitely fill up a subathon. So I don't know. Yeah, there's still very much the underground as well. So on Tears of the Kingdom side, but I like both choices. Okay, so it seems like everybody's liking both choices so far. That's good to hear. Yeah, they just both want to they want to get feedback, see what how everybody else feels about the options. That's what I'm heading towards right now. So yeah. Funny thing is, we did stream a little bit of Tears of the Kingdom before during the Switch It Up subathon. Zelda came up and I beat my first dungeon in front of you guys. That was the Rito dungeon. And yeah, that is the other advantage of Bloodborne, is that it is part of the backlog, so that would clear out another game from the list. So I don't know. Eggroll thinks that more people that are not in our group would be inclined to watch a first-time Bloodborne playthrough. Also true. Oh, we do have a poll up right now between Bloodborne and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't know if that's a finalized thing, but at least gives us an idea of what people would prefer in that way. But yeah, it would be my first time playing through the entirety of a Souls game. I'd advocate for Bloodborne. I'm not biased. No, that's totally not your request. Not at all. Both would be amazing, but analytics. Oh god, an all Korok seeds incentive. That'd have to be a lot. That would have to be a lot to make me go after all the damn Korok seeds. Because I didn't even do that in Breath of the Wild. Ooh, it is rather close, but Bloodborne did come out on top. I don't know. We'll have to see how that turns out and let them kind of decide. But for now, let's get to Final Fantasy XIV as we, it's almost been a half hour, well, 10 minutes for us, but yeah, it's almost 9:30. We haven't even done anything yet. We yearn for the old blood. Alright, let's see what Vanal has to say. Milan, listen to me. Our duty now is not to denounce Hermes for his misguided determination, or to convince Emet-Selch and Hythlodaeus that they've been deceived. No, we must instead ensure that the experiences Hermes sought to expunge are preserved. What remains in our memories alone will be our weapon against the final days. You must fight this battle in your age, and I in mine. Come, let us walk together once more. I will see you to the doors of Propylaeon. Okay, just that way. Monoceros? Oh. Oh, Sumo Wendy's saying have tissues nearby just in case.
No! Mary just told me I'd be good.
I think
I said I was gonna be sad, but she said I'd be
I think we'll be all right.
good. I do have tissues though, so I'm ready.
In the meantime, while we're doing this, I have been able to fully attune to Thavnair, Garlemald, and Merlin and Torum. I'll get to Elpis soonish, but I'm gonna guess. I have to imagine the next place we're going is Labyrinthos, since we've not really, seen the rest of that, and before we go to the final area.
Well, this is a big cutscene. It says put aside time.
Oh boy, what the heck is gonna be going down here?
That's not usually good.
That's alright, I got my monkey carrying me. I'll get there eventually. A long and important one. Oh boy. What's that? I have no idea what that means.
Carla, what do you mean? I can't type right now.
Alright, let's speak. No worries, lass. Oh, Geeky Griffin, thank you very much for the Prime subscription. Says also time to re-up this. 34 months now. Thank you so much. How's the sound levels, by the way?
So, it is within. The portal that brought you hither, and will take you home.
Excellent. Yes, this is where we part ways.
I'm staying.
May you and yours emerge triumphant. Make use of the knowledge you have gained, that your days in Elpis and our friend's sacrifice be not in vain.
Truly do, but 'tis a very long game that we must not play.
So I'm not sure if you guys heard Amy, but she said if the other one, choose the other one. She says, I appreciate your sentiment, I truly do, but it's a very long game that we must now play. Ain't that the truth? Basically, yeah, it's like just agreeing, like, yeah, it should be a thing. Let's see.
And did she say there's dangers lingering over long?
No.
Yeah, she said basically if we stay any longer, there's dangers.
I see.
With Meteon free to pursue her designs, 'tis only a matter of time until the final days are upon us. We must be ready. From fortifying our defenses to securing our escape, there is much to be done.
Yeah, we got that one now. Yeah.
In spite of this, we cannot allow the report that set this calamity in motion to become common knowledge. Were the masses to learn the fates of the other stars, I fear the situation would spiral out of our control.
Yeah, probably.
I must carefully consider who can be trusted and bring them into the fold. Ordinarily, I wouldn't hesitate to call upon the 14. However, it was the desire for a fair determination that drove Hermes to attempt to erase our memories. Were he made aware of his actions, there is no telling whether he would remain a friend or become a foe. Alternately, we might try to alienate him from the convocation. Yet in doing so, we would deprive ourselves of a brilliant mind who would be invaluable in the crises to come. Quite the dilemma. Which is why I must work independently of the convocation. Regardless of how we proceed, if we are to permanently avert the final days, we must be equal to Hermes' challenge. We must prove that mankind is worthy to exist. And this hinges, I think, on how we confront the all-consuming despair that accompanies a senseless and seemingly inevitable end.
Hey, Jiscarica.
The
Oh,
world
I'm so
is
sorry about
undivided.
that.
We would perish like the peoples of those celestial ruins. We could not hope to survive the final days, much less take the battle to Meteon at her nest. We must find a way to defeat despair, to unite and prepare as many as possible for the struggle ahead. Heavy will weigh the burden of guiding this legion of souls. Yet I have faith in mankind's potential.
Would you say it's the dawn of
As long
souls?
as he believes in himself, there is naught he cannot achieve.
It's the subtitle for
So
the
I
Final
will
Fantasy
not give
One
up on him,
version on
on us.
Game Boy
Dark
Advance.
Trail.
No, no, no.
You may find your world.
Yeah, I hope you're holding
very
up okay,
different.
Jiscarica.
Or perhaps the erasure of our friends' memories has sown the seeds of a conjunction between us. We cannot know until the moment is at hand. So shall I strive to do my best, taking naught for granted as I walk my path. And I pray you walk with me to the end.
Yeah,
No,
that's what I'm
the
saying.
end.
She is the Endwalker. Or we
She's
are.
not gonna survive
Well,
this.
we are the Endwalker.
As you move forward, so too will I. As will all, resolved to fight for the morrow. And when mankind has found the strength to stand against despair, we shall silence the song of oblivion. She who sings it will learn our journey is far from over. This I promise. Fare you well, my light of the future, till we meet again.
I like her so much.
Who would have guessed we actually would have met Heidelin properly by the end of all this? Oh, she's smart. She is absolutely smart.
From this day forth, I shall strive to bring honor to the seat of Vandani.
Oh, getting to see the glimpses of the future to come. Oh boy.
This logic
What's that?
of why Meteon wanted to do this.
She sought to answer the meaning of life. The meaning of life was death. So, might as well,
But why'd she have to enact it?
because she was just corrupted. She's all about emotions, and so she was just overwhelmed by the,
Even now, I remember standing there, locked in a moment where the sky is aflame. Where stars fall as tears, and screams darken the seas. Where resignation rots the trees. Where terror twists magics into abominations. Such is the lament of they who have gone before. The song of they who tried and failed to create a better world. The song of the end. That which hides at the edge of the universe is no longer hope's creation. It is hopelessness incarnate. That day, mankind saw half of its number sacrificed to bring forth Zodiark. And covering the star in a shroud of ether, we forestalled the final days.
God, to have that song playing during this. Yeah, it is. It's amazing how it punctuates these apocalyptic moments.
Yet the cries echoed still. We wept for innocence lost, wailed for death inevitable. A reality too terrible to bear. And for too many who sought comfort in gilded memories of joyful days and tranquil nights.
This is all wrong. Why must we suffer so?
It needn't be like this. No. There must be a way to restore things to the way they were. To reclaim the perfect paradise we once had.
No, my friends. Suffering exists, and we cannot pretend otherwise. No civilization, however great, could eliminate it. If we would live, we must accept it as our constant companion. Let us not seek to forget this tragedy. Let us carry it in our hearts, that we may grow stronger and know true happiness.
We can't accept it. We won't accept it. It will be ours again. A world free of sorrow.
No, it will not. For there has ever been sorrow. Mankind was but spared its biting sting for a time. So please, open your eyes. To try and reclaim those lives we lost by sacrificing yet more isn't wisdom. It is weakness.
Really does
No
recontextualize
paradise
Zodiark
is
versus
without its
Heidelin.
shadows. If we cannot accept this truth and learn from our pain, then our plight shall be repeated.
O mighty Zodiark! God, born of our boundless faith! We bid you, hear our prayer. Accept this offering of lives, and deliver unto us the lives we once had. Deliver unto us the days of old, the days when the star was a font of love, and we knew naught but bliss.
That's a cool sword.
You would destroy it? Our beautiful world?
Lands that stretched on forever. Skies one could drown in. The heartbeat of nature, silent yet strong. And amidst it all, a people. Beacons of light and life. Laughter that warmed my heart like naught else before. They are my meaning and my purpose. My love. In spite of, or perhaps because of this, I choose to believe in mankind's potential, in his ability to find a way forward. So let there be no way back. From that temptation, I sunder us. No more shall man have wings to bear him to paradise. Henceforth, he shall walk.
It's honestly kind of badass. Good night, egg roll.
All is excruciating pain. I breathe fire and torment. I birth a world of suffering to mire and plague. In one fleeting moment, lives come and go, ever moving towards the unknown. And in that fleeting moment, they cry for the answer to the question. Why, given life, are they meant to suffer, to die? As fragmented,
Not sure what's attacking her.
imperfect beings, yours is a never-ending quest.
Yeah, I think so.
A quest
Oh, wow.
to find your purpose, knowing your end is assured. To find the strength to continue when all strength has left you. To
Man, we
find
really are
joy
Azim at this point.
even as darkness descends.
She was Azim before.
And amidst deepest despair, light everlasting.
Good thing that's all black, or this game would be M-rated.
A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
We never met Elpis during that journey, though I'm sure he pops up somewhere. Oh, that's cool, Karagosa. Whew. Well, that was, wild. So Sumurani says Metion's empath powers backfired on her, but now she can use those very same powers to spread her despair across the universe, or at least the distance from wherever she is to Aetheris. Oh, Vana is amazing. We have a lot to explain. Oh yeah, and just the way they recontextualize answers, Alpha. It's kind of a masterclass. This game excels at just building upon its own lore. Hey, Very Master Ninja. So we were talking earlier about the potential subathon, and there's a slight preference for Bloodborne over Tears of the Kingdom, but obviously the final call is up to you and Alpha. Milan, impeccable timing as always. I'd heard you were often the first as part of our efforts to investigate the final days. Well, as so often seems to be the case, while you were away, we've had some few developments, which we can discuss in just a moment. For now, however, I cannot tell you how wonderful it is to have you back. Carrying our song. What is... Elpis. I'm not a big fan of that theme, honestly. So, have you learned aught more of the final days? Then the journey was well worth the risk. No doubt your newfound knowledge will be a great boon to us all. Unfortunately, during your time on the First, events here have taken a turn for the worse. The Scions are running themselves ragged trying to contain the spread of blasphemies, but it's a losing battle. Oh, Elpis means the bearer of hope in Greek. Oh, that's cool. Hey, Lon, how's it going? To try and ascertain the where and why of it, Alice and Alphino have been traveling all over. Of all the regions they visited, Locus Amonis was one of the worst affected. Thancred, Estinian, and Graha took a detachment of allied soldiers there to offer aid and succor to those in need. But the province is vast. They only managed to visit a handful of coastal villages. It was an accomplishment worth celebrating still, but a drop in the bucket at best. In the meantime, Ishtola and Master Matoya have been making a concerted effort to establish contact with Hydaelyn in the Ethereal Sea, but to no avail. As for Tataru and I, we've been keeping a close eye on the Forum. From what we gather, they've been constructing a vessel to ferry people to the moon, an ambitious project that has likely been years, if not decades, in the making. However, since we've seen no sign of it thus far, I suspect it's still incomplete. You will also recall the proposal issued by Master Forschnell to the people of Radzat Han. Following their discussion, Vertra declared his support for the plan and urged those who wish to evacuate to accept the Forum's invitation. So far, so good, but that's where things get a little strange. Apparently, the Forum caught wind of the lunar teleporter in the Tower of Babel and decided to use it to deliver people to the moon instead of their mysterious ship. Therefore, to secure safe passage for the Hanish refugees to the tower, Alphino, Alice, Estinian, and Graha traveled to Garlemald not long ago. Trouble is, the capital was hardly the safest place to begin with, and now the final days have come to Garlemald. Ah, crap. Shortly after our friends arrived, they were sent to rendezvous with Master Forschnell. Then panic broke out and our communications were severed. From what fragments we were able to make out before the link shell went completely silent, we can only assume the phenomenon has spread to the capital. The others need you, Milan. Please, you must help them. Having you there will make all the difference. I'm sure of it. Camp Broken Glass was their first port of call, so you'd best start there. Hopefully, Lucia will know where they are. There's no telling what you'll be walking into, so you'd best take every possible precaution. Yeah, that definitely can see the Garleans falling into despair. That's for sure. What you got for us, Lucia? Hold on, and not a moment too soon. The skies over Garlemald are ablaze, but it's events on the ground that concern me. As you will have heard, your fellow Scions arrived ahead of you. We cut the customary greeting short after we received word from our troops on the Magna Glacies that the Forum's airship had landed. It was then that the heavens began to burn. I dispatched your friends at once to ensure refugees come to no harm. I would have you join them immediately. Additional support is en route, but we will discuss them later. I trust you are ready to depart? Oh, more several cutscenes. Jeez. Alright, let's do it.
No. 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 We were promised an escape. Not the same moon we fled.
Yikes.
I shall not meet my final days here in this blasted waste. Calm yourselves. Your panic is our greatest enemy. Come, we must build a line of defense.
What's that? Yeah.
How?
Leave the fighting to us, Father. You must lead the people to safety.
Yeah, it makes sense for these two to be teaming up.
I can handle this.
Later, Gregster.
You shall tend to the refugees. Let us be about it.
As you wish, my little lord.
I like the bond these two have built up. Oh. Are we, Nawa. No one in the history of calm down has ever calmed down by telling someone to calm down.
I'll command the beast's attention. See to the wounded.
Help is at hand.
By being so perfect, I guess is the best way to put it. I mean, they don't know despair, so they have no way to do anything about despair. Yeah. That's why all these... I noticed all the descriptions Metteon had was of these pretty paradise locations. Like, they were seemingly paradise. Well, true, that was how they ended up. But before that...
Those who can stand, come with me.
No, you guys gotta calm down.
You're safe now.
I do have my healer class is Sage, so this is good practice. Yeah, every one of those planets had some sort of utopia that had failed for one reason or another, and the people could not take it.
Refugees, but for yourself.
So that by being sundered, by being imperfect, they had a way of clinging on to hope because they're used to, well, things not being great. Ugh, I'm sorry. There's definitely parts where you got to keep people alive. I have no idea. Yeah, you've definitely always had it rough. Right. Sorry. Almost got him, Justinian. No worries, polyglot.
Help! Someone, please!
What?
She said, she's like, I'm back. Sorry I was away because I had to put my son to bed. God, they're getting uglier.
Don't. I don't want to die.
Oh, here come the Garlands.
Forward! Let not a single fiend escape!
Wait, that's... Euless and the army. So, you've recovered then?
In time enough to be of aid. For once.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We can speak of it more later. For now, we must fight! To repay your salvation in kind, or with better! For Garlemald has her pride!
Of that I've no doubt.
Good gods. Of all possible saviors, the Imperial Army. Oh!
Methinks Fortunat's starting to realize the error of his ways.
I had hoped to take all of them down at once.
Think a withdrawal might be in order?
Oh, sod that. You know who would never abandon these people to their fate.
Got our two biggest
Devoured
fans.
By their former friends. That'd be beyond cruel. These beasts must fall here and now.
Well then, I'd say it's high time we threw caution to the winds.
So long as you spare me the heroic sacrifices. Now, let's go!
Oh, I am totally down for being... It's so funny we keep ending up with these, keep ending up with the classes I use. Alright. And she gets a much easier rotation. She gets it easy. This feels unfair. At least the next part will be easier for you, Amy. boy, get out. Oh boy.
Not today.
Dang, wasn't enough to get completely out of the way.
I'm not done yet.
Black Death. Fortunately, Graha seems to be pretty good at keeping us alive.
To worry about. The air crackles with energy. Find cover!
We go inside the rock. Thank you, Graha.
As they say, turnabout's fair play.
Ooh, get to use the limit break. You don't have to, but it's probably ends it a lot quicker. It should be on her bar. Huh? Yeah, Vermilion Pledge. Not too shabby.
There's not the barest trace of ether. Maybe there really is no way to bring them back.
Thank you for saving our lives once again. I remember you from Purusha. You helped us there too, didn't you?
Ah, you're from Palaka's stand. I'm glad you're still in one piece. Or you will be, once I see to that injury of yours.
Look out!
What the? Where did he come from?
Get out of here! Quickly! I won't lose them! Not a one! This will be a brighter future! I won't let a madman's apocalypse ruin everything we've fought to achieve!
Get it together, Alize. You're embarrassing yourself. And in front of father, no less. You might never measure up to our champion. We ask too much of him as it is. You mustn't let our sword in the darkness fight alone.
Speaking of, I gotta love how we're just casually strolling up. Honestly, me doing that in this costume works. Gotta love how they're just like, okay, we gotta give the player some badass moments. Done well in my absence.
I can look after myself, you know.
I just imagine that scene with Olala fell. It's just like, I can't imagine it feeling badass.
I've had enough of this rabble. Come on!
Alright, let's do it. You guys don't get to haven't really seen me play as a red mage too much.
Oh, a trio for the ages.
He's a little bit of everything. He can be whatever he kind of needs to be. He's like Vanan that way. Look, it still hit me.
Just the beginning.
Whoa!
I had a feeling I'd find you here.
I was gonna say, Alice, you need
This
a...
will be the last of the worst troublemakers. With me!
The unicorn is here, you said? Oh. She said the same thing to me, and I just said the second option. I love when you really get to just unleash the red mage's just set of attacks.
Leave the healing to me.
Just does so much.
I'm in your debt.
Where were we?
There we go. That was fun. Oh, it's Catastrophe, a boss from Final Fantasy V. I completely missed that one. But I'm also not super familiar with Final Fantasy V. So time stage says Graha is a white mage, paladin, and black mage that he can swap between as needed.
You must board without delay. The ship will depart ere long.
Your offer to host us in Sharlayan is most appreciated. But will the final days not soon fall upon it as well?
Your hesitation is not unwarranted. The satrap entrusted me with your lives, yet I have failed your comrades. Nor are you wrong to fear that this corruption will continue to spread. I cannot promise you complete safety, even in my homeland. What I can promise is that I will do all in my power to protect you. That power is not inconsiderable. Even now, my countrymen are preparing the vessel that will deliver us to a sanctuary on the moon. Join us on our journey there, and beyond, to new horizons. Come to old Sharlayan. Please.
We would be fools to refuse such a generous offer made in earnest.
You're using the moon all wrong, Forshnault.
It seems they've a new destination.
The people of Radzat-Han have known too much suffering. The march to Garlemald will only bring them more, short though it may be.
I quite agree. Fortunately, they have you to look after them.
Yes. Well.
Behind you! Just there!
That's a good team.
Mm-hmm. Isn't it?
More of them.
Oh. Well.
Xenos! Here!
You'll be all right. Hurry to the airship.
Why have you come?
A heretofore unseen beast. 'Twas ripe for the slaying. Poor sport, alas. Unfit to temper my blade.
Oh, for the love of... You cannot still be on about a rematch.
That is, and has ever been, my sole concern. You, on the other hand, are fixated on a different quarry. Your passion pales before mine. Yet neither hate nor despair seems sufficient to recapture your misdirected bloodlust. So, I hone my blade, and I wait.
That's it. That's all you care about. Garlemald is in ruins. Our homeland, the nation you rule, is as good as gone. Along with so many of its people. Not just soldiers like us. Not only those who fought and killed for power and duty. Innocent civilians. Murdered by their own flesh and blood. Lost and confused as they breathed their last. While we who survived with our lives and minds intact were left to freeze to death. The Eorzeans tell me all this was your doing! You slaughtered your countrymen! You did! For what?
For nothing, in the end. So much wasted effort.
You bastard!
For your own sake, Eulus, you must control your anger. It will serve no one should it consume you and see you transformed.
Would you be happier had I a good reason?
I was expecting a bigger reaction from you.
I saw him on your screen. So
Oh, you're prepared.
just getting through it.
What?
If my motives met with your approval, would you no longer resent the outcome? If so, then perhaps a beast's skin would suit you better. Duty, honor, morality. All constructs of convenience when put to proof. Surely the war taught you how easily power becomes the tool of the self-righteous. How the people's justice was merely a means to their ends. Yet you would ask me why. Ask any creature of this star and those above for answers, and they will tell you what suits their fancy. And they would be right to do so. What meaning there is to be found in the petty vicissitudes of your existence must be gleaned by you, and you alone. Should you seek it in battle in the fruitless pursuit of my demise, then come. Assume your rightful place as a notch on my blade.
Eulus, it would not end well for you.
You are a blight on the Garlean race, and there would be no more satisfying way to expunge it than by beating you to death. But I will not be party to another tragedy. I refuse to lose anyone else because of you. So go. Go! And may we never suffer your madness again!
Xenos! Perhaps you found meaning in living this way. I cannot deny you found strength. Yet if you only pursue your hedonistic pleasures and pay no heed to the plight of others, then no one will give you the time of day. You will never get what you want, not even the battle you pine for so dearly. You'll be alone for an eternity, and you'll deserve every agonizing second of it.
It really is making me think that we're not going to fight Xenos at all.
Unless he turns into a monster.
Yeah.
But he's so emotionless, I don't know if that'll happen.
Yeah. Because that is honestly the worst thing we can do to him is just not fight him. So I really hope it doesn't happen, because it's so interesting that it doesn't feel like the proper lead up to another final battle or anything like that. There's so many bigger fish to fry.
Will be leaving shortly, but I've asked mine to remain for the time being.
Agreed.
There's room enough for you to join me on it, if you wish. Do contain your surprise.
What's
I
that?
needn't agree with the Scions' methods or intentions to
yeah.
acknowledge that their deeds
Matter,
are
so-
deserving of gratitude.
Well, you're absolutely cool as well, Very Master Ninja. Yeah, it's an interesting line. Is that, like, you're right? Only Xenos can pull off the "would you forgive me if I had a good reason." But the thing is, he's just sort of a wretch.
We appreciate the offer. But might I ask why you are delaying your departure? I presume it is not solely for our benefit.
I must visit Garlemald ere we return to Sharlayan. Having caused such an uproar, 'tis only meet that I explain myself to the Ilzabard contingent.
Allow us to accompany you then. We should be glad to facilitate, given our familiarity with all concerned. If you would like to join as well, Eulus, we can speak of recent events on the way.
And I haven't even had a chance to tell him what happened with me.
He'll be after your seat on the forum next.
Justinian's become such a fun character. Such a 180 from how I first met him as a dragoon. Where I hated him. Oh, you know exactly why they... Basically, it's like he's so much like you. No. That's how... I mean, I took it as he's just sort of... Like, he is a good man, and he'll be, like... He's just able to, you know... Yes, I'm sorry. We've really turned Julius around. To see Xenos standing there, so uncaring and unrepentant, gods, I don't know what came over me. I just blurted out the first thing that came to mind, but looking back on it, I stand by those words. I would say I hope they won't incite him to further villainy, but to be honest, I doubt he even remembers what I said. Anyway, enough about all that. It's good to see you again.
No major injuries then. Good. I briefed the recovered soldiers and sent them on their way as quickly as I could, but nevertheless feared they would not make it in time.
Yep, new weapon coffer. I'll take a look at it after this scene.
The additional support was invaluable. Your men saved more than a few lives. Though not all, I regret to say.
I take it that I'm addressing Lucia Junius. I'm the Forum's envoy, Fortuno Leveilleur.
Karagosa, thank you very much for the Tier 1 subscription. You're subscribed now. Yeah! I appreciate that.
And you are owed an explanation for these most dire developments.
Another trial wrought by the final days. I was beginning to suspect as much. You doubtless feel some consternation having been forced to abandon your original plan. But trust me when I say you were right to send the refugees elsewhere. Beasts have been sighted within the capital. Perhaps it was a stroke of grim fortune that the population was decimated beforehand, as they've yet to appear in any great number, but in time. In any case, Maxima leads the remainder of the contingent in an effort to cull the creatures and evacuate the populace as we speak. Once the airships have taken to the skies, I pray your men can be persuaded to join him.
You'll permit us to retain our weapons?
I wouldn't have sent you after the Scions were I expecting you to stab them in the back.
And I, for one, would not consider past transgressions more relevant than future contributions.
Oh. Wow.
Regardless of the circumstances that saw us at odds before, we need men of courage now, more than ever.
He's so wide-eyed, it's like, I can't believe these people.
We swore to defend Garlemald, and so we shall.
It seems you have everything under control. You will excuse me then, for mine own duties await.
A moment, Master Fortuno. You did desire to express your appreciation for services rendered, did you not?
I did. Though if you intend to again ask that Sharlayan alter its course, you will find my gratitude insufficient.
'Tis nothing so onerous. I wish to hear the details of this grand endeavor of yours.
there to listen and to learn, and not to embark upon some scheme to impede us.
Knowing what I know, no promises. Yes, Alphanel has definitely gone through probably the biggest character arc in this entire game.
Any other I would doubt, but you I trust to keep your word. For not once have you broken it. Very well. I will request that the Forum make you privy to our plans. You may await our summons at the Baldessian Annex, assuming the decision is in your favor. Does that suffice?
It does. You have my thanks. Excellent. You can regale us with tales of your most recent sojourn to the First while we wait.
Oh boy, do I have some stories to tell. You okay there?
Did you hear something just now?
Why is Aloperid here? Wait, is this Pudding Way?
Where is this star's blood pudding?
Oh yeah, not many of you have gone to the moon, have you? Oh my god. What is it, Night of the Lapin or something like that? That bunny horror movie from the like 60s?
May banish even the darkest night.
Oriange with his crew.
This bitter climb bring warmth and comfort. 'Tis heartening to see such an assembly upon my return. I thought often of you whilst I looked down upon our star's brilliance from the moon above.
Yes, but what are you doing here? And dressed like that? Aren't you cold?
You want to talk, Alize.
Verily, I fear for my health should I proceed to expound upon our purpose ere I procure more suitable garments.
Oh my gosh. You're in for some scenes.
Oh no.
You'll see.
Summarize. We're here because none of you lot are up there. Nor has anyone deigned to send word about any changes in the plans. It's rude, is what
You will.
it is. At least that's what I thought at first, but then folks got to wondering if you weren't in a spot of bother, so we decided to take matters into our own hands. Come down here and help, if our help be needed. So she says, but it's also something of a convenient excuse to visit Etheris. Oriange made it sound absolutely marvelous. More so before the impending doom, but still. And it's not like there will ever be a better time. What with the aforementioned doom?
Marvelous, they say, yet not an ounce of pudding to be found. I must suffer Oriange's inferior works no more.
Hey! Maybe consider the plight of present company before you go blathering on about pudding and doom? As I was saying, should you require any assistance with whatever, we are at your disposal.
The voice acting for these guys are so good.
We were born from Heidelin's love for the lives of this star, so naturally we would much prefer to see them continue. Twiddling our thumbs up on the moon is hardly conducive to that, though, is it? Aye, not when you've all got such precious thoughts and feelings and hopes for the future deserving of more active preservation. speaking to Urianger made us realize that while we've carried out our duties to the letter, we've failed to fulfill them in spirit. From there, it was just a hop, skip, and a jump towards resolving to do better. So please, show us how. Help us help you.
Oh, why did his ears burn?
Oh, you'll see.
Forgive me, but are they...
Thy distant collaborators, indeed.
Why is it so ominous?
Hail,
What the
fellow,
heck?
well
That's
met.
Scary.
You'd be a member of
Why
the
are they
forum,
all
would you?
zombie-like?
It's an honor and a pleasure to meet you at last.
What's going on?
Just gonna let you watch Amy's reactions.
Pudding. I don't think they can see me. I don't know if it's as effective. I guess it's a hungry bunny.
Don't you remember Pudding Way?
Why is pudding way here? Well, get the pudding started.
Yep, here they all come. There's one more scene I'll move aside for so they can see you.
What the heck is this?
I'm Living Way, Hydelin's right paw. That last bit is very important. As am I, if I may humbly say so myself.
I mean, he's been living with them. Why is it Pudding Way? Because Pudding Way is best way. Honestly, they remind me of... The voice acting reminds me of British nannies. Oh, here.
Oh, the cold.
She's getting shivering Orange now.
Oh my gosh. He wasn't cold before until someone mentioned it.
Yeah, now his mind's on it.
I bid you welcome to our star, Living Way. On behalf of the Forum, I thank you for traveling such a distance to meet us. As you have surmised, preparations for the Exodus have not proceeded as smoothly as we had hoped. I should be happy to personally escort you to our headquarters in Charlian, where you may advise us as you deem fit.
'Twas with reluctance that I set aside the great work of readying the moon for habitation. Be assured that I did so only after the Loperids made plain their earnest desire to come hither, and I myself felt a growing certainty that their contributions here would prove invaluable.
I want the pudding around your head as an emote.
Oh, yeah, that would...
The pudding around your head as an emote should be absolutely be a thing.
'Tis trite, perhaps, but I followed my heart.
May thy disciples banish this darkest of nights.
I am no esteemed philosopher of Eld. Nevertheless, 'tis my hope that what little knowledge I shared shall serve them well, and perchance help save us all. Will thou attend us at the Forum and lend thine own wisdom?
We got a great exchanging. Pudding Way's still there.
If that's all quite settled, can we start moving before Urianger catches his death? Even I'm freezing out here.
Oh, I dare say you'll warm up quickly once you're aboard the airship. Sat shoulder to shoulder with our fur-covered friends.
Yeah. That's amazing. I get a nice little teleport there. Excellent. Real quick. There it is. 545 compared to my... Oh, it's equal. Contract next. Oh, I already bought it. Dang it. I think I just bought the stuff that we're going to about get. Okay, I'll save that for whatever gets up there next. Looks like I could have saved my money. Crap. I dare say Master Forshno was nonplussed as we to learn the identity of Heidelin's lunar custodians. As he will soon discover, they have much and more to offer the Forum. Might I suggest we return to the Annex forthwith? We may yet have time to discuss thy recent adventures ere we are summoned to the Rostra. Nope, Dragoon doesn't need it because Polyglot gifted me a set of level 90 armor. So whatever is the third class that I get up to level 88, we'll get that. It happens. I was tired of running around in my old red mage gear, so I was like excited when I got to 88. I was like, okay, finally I can change out of this. May have jumped the gun and probably spent way too much money, but oh well. So many people in here. Not that I'm complaining, Oriange, but I wasn't expecting to see you quite so soon. Nor I thee. In extolling the virtues of Aetheris, I did inadvertently awaken in the Loperites a desire to avert our beloved star's demise. Kryl tells us you have obtained new knowledge that may aid us in our ongoing efforts. I've news to share regarding our study of the Ethereal Sea, but your findings are certain to be of greater interest, so I would rather hear them first. To what revelations did Heidelin's Elpis flower lead? Oh. I was going to say, there better be a cut to black because there's a lot to say. Then this dynamis is what drives the final days. If it and Akasha are the one and the same, this all but proves Nidana's theory. Were an entity through sheer force of emotion to channel this vast, dormant reservoir into a raging river, its power might surpass even that of ether. But if our star is so replete with ether, said entity would need to be outside its influence to effectively manipulate the dynamis of the great expanse. Metion. Or rather the sorrow and suffering of fallen civilizations that she has been hoarding for millennia. Untold anguish and fear and hatred drawn from every corner of the universe, all for a single purpose, the destruction of Aetheris. Then our foe is no longer some unknowable calamity. We have but one aim, to defeat Metion. You make it sound so simple, but you're not wrong. Vanquish Metion and we deliver the world from the final days, but to even attempt it, there are two conditions. First, we must determine her location. Before Metion escaped, an enchantment was placed upon her by Vana, the woman who would become Heidelin. The implications of temporal magics are not entirely understood, and so we cannot assume that our Heidelin and the Vana you met in Elpis are one and the same. Nevertheless, due to her intrinsic qualities as an all-powerful being, I'd wager that Heidelin possesses the knowledge we seek. Whether she would share that knowledge with us, however, remains to be seen. After all, she intends for us to flee Aetheris, not to stay. Do you suppose she has abandoned her pursuit of Metion? The Vana I know would never give up. That's my impression too. Otherwise, she wouldn't have used me as a conduit for her will, or provided clues such as the Elpis flower. I believe she has been waiting for mankind's answer to Hermes' question. So, what's the second condition? We must find a means to reach Meteion. Naturally, our chosen method will depend entirely upon whosoever she has made her nest. Wheresoever she has made her nest. Then communing with Hydaelyn must by necessity come first. Did you and Master Matoya have any luck with your investigation into the Ethereal Sea? Sadly not. Though we enlisted the help of Arenvald and the other Echo-blessed allies, we couldn't detect so much as a whisper from Hydaelyn, even from within the Antitower. Master Matoya is of the opinion that in the years since abandoning it, the Form has found some other method of receiving instructions from Hydaelyn. If so, it would most likely be some form of apparatus for observing the Ethereal Sea, built closer to home. Sorry to interrupt, but we just received word from the Forum. Your presence is required in the Rostra, where they intend to discuss the Great Exodus. Then Father was able to persuade them. They're finally taking us seriously. Let's hear what they have to say. What's everybody have to say? Hey, Heroes Live. Doing pretty well. How about yourself? Tatari says, like, I don't want to deal with the Ishgard stuff again. Oh, I'm sure Heroes Live. They all have good things to say. All right. Off to the Rostra. I'm a little sad we don't get to see Matoya. That'd be fun. Later, VMN. Take care. How will this discussion go, I wonder?
There is a matter I wish to raise with you before we enter. We are here to listen and to learn. But if the Forum's plans are more or less what I expect, then I should like to make a proposal that will serve our ends. By your leave, of course.
I don't see why not. Your words and wits have gotten us this far.
Agreed. I will present our queries so that you may consider the most advantageous way to advance your proposal without distraction.
Thank you, everyone.
If I may have your attention, the ad hoc session will now commence. The purpose of today's assembly is to brief the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, at their request, on the Great Exodus. You may enter.
There's so many of us.
On behalf of the Forum, I commend your heroic actions on the Magna Glacies. We shall not soon forget your service to us and the people of Radzat-Han. The Satrap, whom we have informed of the refugees' new arrangements, sings your praises as well. As an expression of our gratitude, we will endeavor to answer your questions as fully and openly as we are able.
It's a mark of a scholar. The important ones get to not wear their hats. Unless they're a bunny, then they can't wear it just because of the model.
Then let us
Barney
begin.
age 54? Oh, jeez.
First, it is the Forum's objective to ferry the life and knowledge of this star to the moon. Am I correct?
You are. It is for this purpose that Sharlayan has labored these many long years. We have collected biological samples and scientific records from across the star. When the time comes, they will be moved from their places in Labyrinthos and Numenon and conveyed to safety. Once that critical task has been accomplished, we will begin transporting the Sharlayan citizenry, which has been categorized into groups. The earliest arrivals are to ensure hospitable environs for those who come after. Following our people, we will send those of other nations in turn, beginning with our allies. Radzat-Han was foremost among these, but since the final days have already come to Thavnair, we saw fit to include the refugees with earlier groupings.
An ambitious plan. You have accounted for the safety of all nations and tribes, then?
As many as we can.
And how, pray tell, do you decide who to leave behind?
To journey beyond the sky is an unprecedented and immeasurably difficult endeavor. Introducing sources of inevitable conflict would condemn all to certain death.
Questions as to the validity of that approach aside, are your plans proceeding apace? We're under the impression that your primary means of celestial transportation is incomplete.
If only in that it does not meet our optimal parameters, that is correct. This Ark, as some have taken to calling it, is fully operational and could be launched even today. However, the final days have progressed more quickly than we anticipated. At present, the ship is incapable of attaining speeds sufficient to meet our evacuation targets. Should we put the vessel into service, as it is now, we will be unable to travel to the moon and back quickly enough to complete the necessary number of trips. Precious lives and knowledge will be lost.
Seven hells. Is there anything to be done?
The ether burner, the primary means of propulsion once the craft is in the space between stars, is undergoing testing to determine whether it can be made more efficient. Though cargo is being loaded for the initial phase of the Exodus, we are prepared to continue our experimentation up to the day before launch, should it prove necessary.
What if the Scions were to solve your problem?
We know a guy.
We shall help devise a means to improve the ether burner's efficiency, on 2 conditions. If we succeed, you must allow us to meet with Hydaelyn.
'Twas simple enough to deduce. You have a Concord, and so you would never have abandoned the anti-tower had you no other means of communication. One far more convenient, I suspect.
The second condition, also to be met upon our success, is that we be permitted to propose another use for your Ark.
We would be at liberty to refuse this proposal.
Of course. If we cannot prove its merit to the 99 here, who are we to stake on it the lives of all peoples of this star?
Delightful as always, Master Alfino.
I love this guy.
Oh, we couldn't have asked for a finer plan. Allow us to solve this complex engineering problem of which we were entirely unaware until moments ago. What could possibly go wrong? The satire writes itself. Yet, what field has not benefited from a change in perspective? When we are at wit's end, what we need is not the same dry theories recited ad nauseam, but fresh inspiration. I, for one, have faith in my erstwhile students to provide it, and I find their terms to be perfectly acceptable.
Good night, Cat Evie. Take care.
Order! Order! We have no time to waste on debate. I call a vote. All in favor of agreeing to the Scions' terms?
I mean, really, they have nothing to lose by agreeing.
"71 in favor, 28 against. The ayes have it. Fortuneau, as the architect of this project, you are the best candidate to show them its current state. And bear in mind that regardless of your personal misgivings, this is the will of the Forum.
Very well.
I call this session to a close. Return to your tasks with urgency. The final days wait for none.
Okay, so we might not be piloting the moon to Metion. We got a different ship. Hope these fools like carrots. Whoops, pushing the wrong button. Who doesn't like carrots? Well, me. Not a big fan of carrots. Oriange's like, oh gosh, there could be all kinds of stuff the Loporrits are getting up to. Carrot cake is good. That's true, Rusty. Graha's like, there is no coincidences. Sorry about not letting the rest of you in on my plan. I was admittedly thinking on my feet for the most part. But since we require both a means of communing with Hydaelyn and reaching Metion, in the spur of the moment I saw involving ourselves with the completion of the Ark as a way to work towards both objectives simultaneously. However, we must first keep our end of the bargain by solving the problem of the ether burner. I'd like to think it is not a challenge beyond our combined expertise, or at least the expertise of our extended circle of associates. It might behoove us to learn how an ether burner actually works before we attempt to improve it, though. So it's different, but also worth the same. Whatever. As instructed, I shall take you to see the ether burner. Oh, I missed the quest description. Whoops. Meet me outside the arcade. Oh, I guess. I completely missed it. Meet me outside the Archeon. I trust you can make your own way there. So the Ark is being built in Labyrinthos. Hardly surprising. Where else could they conceal such a massive undertaking? Got my fingers on the wrong buttons. Oh, I can just travel. Perfect. Said, Fortunat's ability to maintain a stiff upper lip is being sorely tested. That is good. Oh gosh, they have anything different to say. Loporrits ignored most of the finer details. Destination lies in the lower levels. The Forum in its wisdom has granted you access to the Archeon's lift. Step inside and have Ophenline take you to the medial circuit. We finally get to explore the rest of Labyrinthos. Hallelujah. This has to be a giant version of the... That is amazing. This has to be a giant version of the lunar whale, right? Has to be. Who knows if we actually get to see it here, though. I have seen your associates head to Logisticon Alpha on the other side of the Mariol Agronomics. Oh, jeez. Actually, there was something I've been meaning to... No, never mind. It can wait. Let us attend to the matter at hand. Yakuza's getting a TV series that's going to Prime Video. Honestly, not a bad choice for a TV series. A lot of its expansion seems to be about breaking cold intellectual types to their limits. Yeah. It's funny to watch you run behind me, Amy. There's just something very amusing about it. Oh. I don't mind. Well, we're even right now. Probably for something eventually, but I'm going to save that for later. Huh? Okay, I'll grab it later. I've been just doing all that off camera. And I'll be able to fly you to the other stuff. That's why another thing I've been wanting to do, just to make sure you can get yours quickly. Because we can easily communicate and you just tell me which way to go. I'm jealous of that, Vandal. I want the cloud. I have no idea. Oh, it's an old Amazon promo? Dang it. That's... Probably. That's way better than a mountain zoo.
But is it better than the chocolate?
Yes.
I think the one you can buy is the golden one, not the white one.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a yellow one you can get from the cash shop. Okay.
I didn't see what Vandal was riding.
It was a white one.
Yeah, I just saw it now when I passed him.
Oriange is so happy that he doesn't have to eat carrots. Something other than carrots. Thank you. We're going to wait here while our father arranges for us to use the next lift. Here being the Logisticon Alpha, where the atmospheric conditions of Labyrinthos are regulated. Big. Water is drawn from underground and dispersed as vapor, stimulating the formation of artificial clouds and rain. By manipulating the temperature and air circulation, they are able to create the ideal environment for the growth and preservation of the biological samples kept here. Hold on, how do you know so much about it? Why, Father brought me here as a child. What? And left me behind? Actually, you're the one who left me behind when you went off somewhere with Grandfather. The night before, I'd been asking Father how clouds are made, so he decided to show me. It was fascinating. I peppered him with questions the entire time. 'Tis all too easy to take for granted the many interweaving aspects of the natural world, to grow inured to the wondrous. But having gained an understanding of the complex mechanisms employed by the Loporrits in recreating a similar environment, I have come to view such processes in a new light. The subterranean gardens of Labyrinthos, the lunar prison forged to contain the ancient Zodiarch, the habitations built for all mankind neath the moon's surface, each unique yet undeniably similar. 'Tis no mere coincidence. Ever since Hydaelyn unfolded to us the grim fate that awaits Aetheris, every essential resource we could spare has been delivered to Labyrinthos in preparation for the Great Exodus. But that is not all. It is also a testing ground for the technologies that will allow us to settle on the distant stars. Though the Loporrits have endeavored to make the moon inhabitable, that is not our final destination. Mankind must learn to propagate life where there is none, to thrive where all is barren. Alas, time is not on our side. I have arranged for you all to enter the central circuit. It is there that most of our preparations for the Great Exodus are carried out, the construction of the Ark among them. Though our plans have been made public, access remains highly restricted. You, however, will not be subject to said restrictions, and will have free reign to come and go as you please. Such was the will of the Forum, after all. We will prove ourselves worthy of your trust. Of their trust. Your trust. Then let us proceed. Haven't quite fully impressed the father yet. But, yeah, we're allowed in. To the central circuit. This is really a cool area. What do all these guys have to say again? Even more central circuit. Don't let Alpha know anywhere near the gold saucer. Nor you, Estinian. Poor Oriage has been absolutely just carrot-stricken. You okay? Oh. The ether burner is being constructed not far from here. Overseeing the work is Kukul Donkol, after whom the forge is named. Once the necessary introductions have been made, I shall leave you with him to discuss the particulars. This way. For the sake of actors' ages, I imagine they would probably go with Yakuza 1 as their adaptation. That way, if it does well, they can immediately go into Yakuza 2 and beyond. Yep, I will be working on that when I get a chance, Soth. I've done it for the other areas except for Elpis, but we're getting there. Oh, the trip back to the present was something else. Like just watching what Vana went through. Oh boy. That was yeah. But how you doing, Linky? Did I try to startle him? Yeah, we're getting there. We're so close. I'm kind of doubtful with the length of these cutscenes that we'll be able to finish.
Swap 'em out. No, been there, done that. Damn near lost my eyebrows.
The 88 quest.
Think, Coco, think! We be well on our way to paradise. Visionaries patting themselves on the backs for their grand accomplishments if you'd only think!
Yes, that does sound rather lovely.
Yeah! I mean, Master Force, you know, what a pleasant surprise. We're not blasting off already.
That is quite the mullet.
The schedule remains unchanged, for better or worse. Which is why the Forum has elected to accept assistance in resolving the ether burner conundrum.
Huh. Not seen you lot down here before.
There are Archons among their number, but engineering is not their expertise. Nevertheless, the Forum concedes the slim possibility that they may have insights to offer. If not, you are at liberty to return them to the surface, by whatever means you see fit.
I assure you that won't be necessary. Now, about your troubles with the ether burner.
Aye, aye, I'll walk you through it. Suppose I could do with a change of pace. As the name ought to tell you,
I like
the
this guy.
ether burner burns ether, ambient or otherwise, and transforms it into motive force. Think of it like a giant bomb that never stops exploding. Even out in that black void where the ether's right sparse, it's strong enough to move our arc. And it probably won't kill you like an actual bomb. But it ain't perfect. According to my calculations, to travel to the moon and back fast enough for the Forum's liking, the conversion rate needs to be 6% more efficient. A measly 6%, you say? But if I could have squeezed even another 0.6 out of it, don't you think I'd have built it that way in the first place?
Hast thou consulted with the Loperids?
Oh, is Coco the blacksmithing forges Excalibur for Season 4? It's been so long, I missed that. Oh, that's amazing.
What is he?
He's a reference to a character from the original Final Fantasy IV. Has the same name. I just forgot. Armag Leo, we're doing these 3 days a week, so I think we'll be able to do it. And we're going to include the patches just to make sure we keep things on target and keep going.
Yes, they too are conducting their own research, for lack of a ready answer. The
I'm
moon's
pretty confident we can
propulsion
make it.
systems are considerable, naturally, yet they are commensurately massive. It is no easy feat to convert their technology into an efficient means of propulsion for a teeny tiny toy boat, as they say, and as I most certainly do not.
I've heard they're beefy, but we'll get to it.
Damn it all! I asked for refined adamantite and they send me uppity rabbits with inscrutable, ancient, incompatible technology! You're trying to drive me mad!
Do you speak of Allegan refined adamantite, perchance?
You know of it?
Only in the most general terms, I'm afraid. 'Twas an alloy of Allegan make, but the secrets of its production were closely guarded. As I recall, the record stated it was vital to Dalamud's construction and launch.
Oi, that's the stuff. No material more conductive far as I know. Slotting some ends like blowing up a dam and watching the river of ether come rushing through. Ain't a living soul that knows how to make it though. We were fortunate enough to salvage some for the ether burner, just a wee bit, mind, from a chunk of Dalamud that came hurtling into the northern empty during the calamity. With more, well, that extra 6% efficiency would be child's play. It's a crying shame that we've no other sources.
Surely the many shards of Dalamud scattered throughout Eorzea would suffice. Why not get the refined adamantite from them?
Oh, we tried, believe you me. But only a few specialised pieces would have had any in them to begin with. Drive calls from Ragnarok class internment hulks. Those are the prize bits we really need. According to the Gleaners, getting to them means delving deep into the shards. And the defences are still very operational and very eager to blow them up. It's rough going in there, even for the cream. Not sure they'd make it out alive.
Weren't we near that part of the Ragnarok when we went to destroy Bahamut?
Is this the coils?
Yep, that's a reference to the coils. That sounds like a job for someone else. Yep, we did do the coils. You want me to go and fetch the whatsits?
That may be for the best, though you doubtless find the task too dull for your liking.
We are a tad stronger now.
Which one did you say?
The top one.
There are multiple internment hulks in Eorzea.
Yeah.
So handling this ourselves may not be the most efficient option.
What's it say?
Heavens, are you alright? You look as pale as... well...
A white raven. Best put that battle from your mind for now. Deep breaths, that's it. Alright, then we're at the same thing.
Rather, if we could salvage adamantite from the shards simultaneously...
Oh, no worries, Smitty.
Thancred, is the link shell we established before you went to Garlemald still active?
Of course. The floor is yours.
What's all this?
Gathering firewood, so to speak. We alone can accomplish little, but joined by others, we may yet build a bonfire to carry us heavensward.
There's a reference to that first expansion.
This is Alphino. The Scions have need of you.
This is what making friends does for us, Forshno.
Understood. I will contact the Lord Commander and dispatch our finest at once.
My sisters are somewhat preoccupied with the final days, so I will lead the 12-Sword expedition myself.
Are you aware of any other sources of refined adamantite?
Logically, such an invaluable alloy would have been utilized solely where absolutely necessary, in components intended to conduct or collect surpassing amounts of ether. Any extant instrumentation or devices would have likely found their way into the hands of etherologists or enthusiasts.
Magical artifacts of Allagan design? The Eastern Alliance will send word to one and all. Are there other ways we may offer aid? No shards of the Lesser Moon scar our soil, but our stake in this cause is no less for it.
Is there anything in Othard that might be of use to you?
This is part of why everyone says do all the side content you can, because it's time to ask for help. I try my best, but it is very cool.
What did you say? Oh, you got friends in far places, lad. Anyway, if you're offering, I wouldn't say no to one of those Far Eastern sacred relics. Some of them can hold enough ether to summon a whole damn primal. Find a source like that with the ether burner, and 3, 2, 1, kaboom!
I gather you heard his explosive enthusiasm. Might you secure us a suitable relic?
It shall be done. I know little of machines, but I promise we will do our utmost to gather the materials you need to finish your starship. I am glad for the work, in truth. Better to busy oneself than wait and fret over disasters foretold.
Then why are we all still standing about yapping? There's plunder for the taking. And I'm a born plunderer. I'll be an old Charlian before you know it. Start mixing the grog.
I'm certain that can be arranged. Thank you all, and do be careful.
Just like that.
Wonder how many extras we would have gotten if I had done more side
Just like
content.
that. Our refined adamantite is on its way.
Oh well.
Now let us consider our next steps, shall we?
Yeah, that's what
There's
everybody's
yet
saying.
much to be done.
If we'd done a bunch of side content, there would have more people that we probably would have talked to. I don't know. I got the usual bat bit too. I didn't feel like I got anybody extra. One from each of the major city-states in the east. There we go. Oh, not sure if there was much we missed there. Oh, okay. It's just firewood. How much longer are we gonna are we gonna be going? Probably another 40 minutes at least. Nice to get some mentions of Louis Soir. Steak sub sounds delicious, Smitty. It's times like these that we're reminded of how famous or infamous Alphino has become. Who'd have thought he could achieve so much with a single Link Pearl conversation? As we're expecting rather a lot of visitors in the near future, I'd best return to the surface and inform the relevant parties. I also have a contact of my own that might be worth a try. Oh, and who might that be? That's for me to know and you to find out. And on that note, I leave matters here in your capable hands. Best of luck. Maybe we're getting more scenes like this. Because I'm getting a meanwhile and all duh.
Our course of action is clear. We must harvest refined adamantite from the shards of Dalamud and procure arcane relics of Allagan make. Summon the best and brightest of our immortal flames and form an expeditionary party at once. Call upon the Sultan Sworn and Brass Blades for support as you must. Papashan, send word to the guilds. We will require the expertise of master artisans if we are to have any hope of identifying and recovering these elusive materials. Here, guys, we have need of your stone torches. They are to assist the immortal flames in scouring the ruins and to help secure the surrounding areas. I trust I can count on your support.
As commander of the Stone Torches, my son Zimberk will personally see it done.
Pippin, I would have you lead the raiding party. Assemble your finest, and with Tizona's blade, clear the way. Lord Lolorito,
Pippin, you don't get to talk.
you take charge of the search for Allagan relics. Surely you know of some being traded on open or clandestine markets, or sleeping in collectors' vaults.
Oh, those two were from the Blue Mage quests. Oh, I have not done Blue Mage.
Of course, I ask not that you do this out of the kindness of your heart. By all means, profit on the transactions. I wish you the joy of it.
I like it.
The final days descend upon our world.
Lolo Rita made himself useful.
Circumstances are truly as dire as they say. Uldar's best efforts may be for naught. And yet, when we Eorzeans rose from the ashes to rebuild our broken realm, did we not learn one simple truth? That which seems all but impossible to overcome alone may yet be possible if we stand together. It was the Scions who united us then, and it is the Scions who call upon us now. Uldar will answer that call. We will summon our courage and join the fight for our world's future.
They're definitely emphasizing everyone coming together at every moment to just, like, so it's not just a singular effort of us doing it all. Which is a nice touch.
Good luck and Godspeed.
You gotta make use of those friends you made along the way. Excuse me. I never did the Bard quests. There's our Lancers, though.
We fielded a goodly number, but our ranks are heavy with healers, and an abundance of restorative magics will be of little help in destroying Dalamud's defenses. Still, it has ever been thus with Gridania. We must steel ourselves for a protracted engagement.
Oh, time for a little help.
In that case, might I suggest taking us along?
You can actually see his eyes. I mean, it's fitting that Lisa's here. This is where we would meet her.
Commander Hext, what are you doing here?
None of the shards in Girabania are big enough to hold an internment hulk. So we said to ourselves, why not lend our neighbors a hand? We thought you might be short on people with a talent for breaking things.
While
Yep,
it
and
pains me
Minago.
to admit it, you are right. Our deficiency so plain to see.
It might have been a lifetime ago, but I was once one of the Scions assigned to the Shroud. I know this forest well. I know your people. And I know we will be stronger if we fight this fight together.
I'm so glad she never fully left the story.
Then I will impose upon you with a clear conscience. Come, let us speak of how to integrate our forces.
I will say, though, you see all this and it really does emphasize how much Popular Mode kind of got the shaft. He was around for a bit, sort of the straight man to...
I won't let it all be for nothing. I promise you, Papalimo.
Well, at least he gets a mention. He's sort of the straight man to Lisa's antics. And then he's gone for most of Heaven's Ward, only to come back and die pretty quickly after. It just looks like it's... just didn't get to do much, unfortunately. Maybe in 1.0 he did more.
There you are. We've no time to waste, brother. Everyone has already...
Harsh font.
dragons roar.
Very much so. Ah, you're a bit ahead of me, I see. Wonder if that's Tiamat or somebody else. There's a whole bunch of dragons that could be.
And so, in summation, the Eastern Alliance, as well as the Honorable Lord Lolorito himself, reached out to me for assistance in procuring these treasures of the divine, and I, in turn, do beseech the Confederacy for aid.
Which one was Heaven on High, Linky? It sounds familiar, but I'm not sure.
Hmm? Is that...
Hancock? What a surprise this
The
is.
Shadowbringer's deep... Stormblood's deep dungeon.
And a fortuitous one at that. I have a favor to ask, you see.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't think we did that. Is that like the Palace of the Dead? Oh yeah, we definitely did not do the big blocky tower. Yeah, I still need to work my way through Palace of the Dead, so yeah, I have definitely not done Heaven on High. Huffino's resisting the urge to pat himself on the back. There are... okay. Yeah, I've definitely not much done of... Oh, of course not. You didn't really enjoy Palace of the Dead, did you?
It was fun with Joe and Carla. But not without them.
Oh, there's also an edit of Sorbonne during that scene if we finish the Four Lords. We're so close to finishing that one, but we never did. The Four Lords, we were fighting like the turtle one with Sorbonne. That's a bummer. Though our friends are searching for refined adamantite and sacred relics, we will only know if they meet your requirements once they've arrived. In the meantime, is there aught else we might do to be of service? You've already done more than enough. If I had to say, though, I could use someone who knows a thing or two about elegant technology. You there, the lad with the red eyes and matching hair. You seem to know more than the average scholar. If only Master Coco knew how right he was. While he and Graha established a rapport, why don't we help them with the preparations for the Great Exodus? Indeed, this would mean going above and beyond the terms of our arrangement, but I propose this not to curry favor. As confident as I am that we will succeed, we must be ready for every eventuality. This would also be an opportunity to familiarize ourselves with the logistics of traversing the Great Expanse. If nothing else, it beats twiddling our thumbs while we wait for the adamantite. Well, ain't you a bunch of helpful buggers? If you've a mind to lend a hand, I know where you ought to go. Charlene Hamlet is lousy with researchers and scholarly types, busying themselves preparing for the Exodus. Pah, that lot need all the help they can get. Well then, off we go. Yeah, I honestly expected Sid to show up during this part, but apparently not. I don't think we've seen Sid at all during this entire expansion, have we? Maybe we did? I can't remember. I don't think so, though. Sid is on a honeymoon with Nero. Sid's asleep. He needs his rest. He only shows up during the post-game stuff. Enjoy this music while it lasts. When done here, we get back to the simple clanging glory of off a flight of stairs. Yeah, I figured. Is it? Oh. In order to protect the secrets of the central circuit. Let's see. Talk to everybody. Steve's like, no paperwork for me. Hanging in there? I'm sorry. Oriange spots something. From what I can tell, a lot of people actually live down here. I don't know how much help we can offer, but I dare say they'll benefit from some of that fresh inspiration Scholar Montichon has mentioned. Let's start by asking around, ideally without getting in anyone's way. Let's meet by the Aetheryte once our work is done. Helping with the Ark, even with all the power Master Kukul's managed to squeeze out of the Aether Burner, it's still not enough apparently. And now I hear the final days have arrived. Horrible creatures running rampant all over. If only we'd begun the exodus sooner. People are dying and there'll be no end to it if we don't fulfill our duties. But we will. We spent years preparing for this moment. Believe in the plan and all will be well. Oh, hello. Are you one of the new helpers? Working on the Aether Burner? Oh dear, I hear things have come to a standstill on that front. Even so, I'd choose that over my current duties. Checking and loading samples day in and day out. It's tiring, thankless work. Still, no one will be cross if I replace a few legumes or what have you. The Reform's got enough on their plate as it is. What with deciding who gets to board the Ark and when, lots of powerful people have opinions about that. My heart goes out to Master Forshno and the others. Hardly get a moment's rest, I expect. Do they even have time to sleep? Where's the last one? Where are you? Nope. Have you found it? Where are you at? Oh wait, I don't. All right, I didn't party up because we kept getting into instances. Oh, I found it. I found you. You can't stay away from me. Offering to help, that's very kind, but I should be able to organize the rest of the documents by myself. It's mostly lists of things that we'll need once we arrive on the moon, and then whichever star we choose as our new home. My duties largely concern the maintenance of living conditions, so I'll be a lot busier after we depart. I hear that our lunar collaborators have come down to assist in our efforts. I'm looking forward to finally meeting them in person, after having communicated with them in such a limited capacity thus far. To be perfectly honest, I've not even the slightest idea what they look like. I do hope they're not enormous looming giants. I would much prefer something small and fluffy, like that beheaded rabbit that ran by. As you wish. Oh, I guarantee that. Ah, well, I love things that are small and fluffy. Yes, you do. Oops. Now we got a crikey. He's growing ways Australian. Well, perhaps a little on account of the savagery, but time heals all wounds. Most, anyway. How marvelous it is to see you again. You'll be pleased to hear that I've learned much since our fascinating discussion in the Curatorium. It's all thanks to Oriange, you see. He's taught me the finer points of cooking, which, despite my name, I knew very little about. So many dishes, so many hard-to-pronounce words. Actually, I was rather hoping he'd show me how to bake an Archon loaf. They're quite popular, I hear, though it doesn't sound like it contains any flavor to speak of. Still, if that's the sort of thing your kind enjoys, I shall make enough to last the whole journey. Oh no! Oh, it only gets worse. They've infiltrated it. Fancy meeting you here, Milan. Our friends at the forum brought us to see their teeny tiny boat, which was quite impressive considering they didn't use any creation magics. What we're really interested in is Aetheris itself, though we now find ourselves in a sort of funny underground miniaturized version of it. We were hoping the forum would give us a guided tour, but it appears they're rather preoccupied. Honestly, all that time to prepare and they're still not ready. I suppose we'll just have to show ourselves around, or at least that's what we're planning to do until we chance upon Oriange and your good self. Since you're both dawdling about, engaging in idle chit-chat, perhaps you could show us a few points of interest. Won't that be fun? Oh, same voice actor as Graha gets the voice Growing Way. Where are you at? Oh, you're right on top of Oriange. Oh, I like that. Well, not on top directly, but he was hiding you. That is so totally steampunk Ren Fair. That is the steampunk Ren Fair shirt if I've ever seen one. Oh, sorry. Yes, I do the optional quest off streams because right now the big focus. Oh, I didn't need to talk. I haven't talked. The big focus is just to get to the story to get content current. That way we're ready to go for Dawn Trail, and we'll, I'll do what I can off stream, and of course going back to it after Dawn Trail. A tour of Labyrinthos, an unexpected yet prudent suggestion. Given the similarities betwixt this artificial environment and Best Ways Burrow, it would be in our best interest to have the Loperites acquaint themselves with those conditions deemed optimal by their Charlayan collaborators. Oh, I love the lore, I just haven't seen much of it yet just because it's so, like, go, go, go. I am trying to train up other classes to see the stuff from Shadowbringers Roll Quest, all of those, as well as I'd like to see all the roll quests for this as well. So trying to get one each, but I only have one job up to level 90, so it'll be a bit. I fear, however, that continued reliance upon my limited knowledge would risk narrowing rather than broadening their perspectives. Mayhap thou art better suited to lead this venture. What a marvelous idea! Might we begin with that great big what's it over yonder? Ah yes, the what's it. I shall leave its explanation to Milan. Let's go check out the what's it. Pfft. Oh my god, the quest name, Wise Guides. Wow. Growing Way is getting inspired. Chief of Pudding Research. Goodness me, to build something so large without creation magics is positively stupendous. Perhaps you could direct our attention to its most important features. Search the operators for points of potential interest. Okay. All there is. Oh, I see. You spotted an ambystoma, especially lively one at that. It appeared that the concept that you observed in another time, another place, was a proof for life in the wider world, somehow. Please take notice of the flying buttresses. Beast references for you. It's a little hard to see them from here, but is that a golden pipe connected to the top of those tanks? And I can see through that window another pipe at the bottom. Ah, this must be a way for purifying water drawn up from below. I am not surprised they have an entry. Linky, we're streaming 3 times a week. So we're streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 to midnight Eastern. We are dedicated to getting on caught up. Is that water I hear from inside that great big tube? Must be because of those cogs in that gigantic wheel at the top. Oh, I see. That's how they draw up the water. There's probably some sort of spiral-shaped mechanism inside it, too. Oh, I didn't see that there was a thing listing all the points. Where's the mushroom-like thing? Oh, wait. No. I thought it'd be those, but no. Oh, wait. This. Just the big thing right next to me that I didn't take notice of because I was too zoomed in. That looks like the trees in Greatest Endsvale. Hold on, that's a bit of a strange shape. It's thin at the bottom but big and round at the top. Quite tall for something so unbalanced too. Now it makes sense, that's where they store the water. Later, Linky. Take care. Well, if I were to hazard a guess, water drawn from underground, presumably with some other mechanism, is purified here and stored in that tower before being distributed elsewhere. I'm right, aren't I? I knew it! A design brilliant in its simplicity. I dare say it would take only a moment to install in even the harshest of environments, for us Loperites, that is. Indeed, securing a reliable source of water is the utmost importance for any fledgling settlement. We have read, however, that peoples of Aetheris sometimes make their homes in arid deserts and such. How are they able to survive? Many settlements in Thanalan built near an oasis. So wherever you choose to live, you're never far from water. Oh dear, I worry we won't be able to procure the necessary amount. We can provide enough water to keep them from drying out completely, but it would appear they rely on it far more than we anticipated. A few adjustments may be in order, once we've calculated the average rate of consumption per individual. It may also be worth learning more about how exactly they obtained their water in the first place. Master Alphino spoke of the machinery responsible for that feat during our journey through the Logisticon Alpha, did he not? Mayhap the Loperites will share his appreciation for the engineering marvel. Oh yes, that sounds absolutely splendid. We must journey beyond the sanctuary of Charlayan Hamlet. I shall lead the way. You mean we'll have to brave the untamed wilderness? A valid concern indeed. We could not help but notice that many dangerous-looking creatures with big, nasty teeth lurking beyond the safe confines of the settlement. Were we not escorted here by burly custodians, I dread to think what would have become of us. Regrettably, to many a hungry predator with the aforementioned big, nasty teeth, Loperites may appear to be a potential and rather appetizing source of sustenance. Might I impose upon thee to assist in securing safe passage to the Logisticon Alpha? For my part, I shall act as escort to Living Way and Cooking Way. I entrust Singing Way and Growing Way to thy care. Yeah, we got this. A more valiant protector they could not wish for. Godspeed. If it's all the same to you, I'd rather not be eaten by some horrid beastie. Come along, Growing Way, to the water extraction. What's it? Let's see. Hopefully there's a way to the what's it for this area, or do I have to go back up? Oh. Dang it. Wrong way. Gotta look out for those little open doors. There they are. Takes care of them. Thank you so much. I really hope this water extraction what's it is worth these harrowing experiences. All part of the fun, some might say, but I'd rather not be burnt to a crisp if it's all the same to you. This place is still really cool. Cooking Way's like, I saw a walking tomato. That was a little weird. My friends, I bid you to welcome to Logisticon Alpha. Our destination doth lie at the lift's top. Pray follow me. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of a school trip. Marvelous, simply marvelous. This is where the magic, or science rather, takes place. The perfect environment to sustain life, artificially created. The knowledge we'll gain here will be essential when we start looking for new stars for your kind to inhabit. Apparently, most of them don't even have air for you to breathe. You're all very lucky that Aetheris just so happens to provide everything you need to thrive. Or did mankind turn out the way they are because of available resources, I wonder? Either way, it's nothing short of miraculous, and I cannot wait to see more of it. One more quest before we call it. We'll end with Cooking Way's Agriculture Shock. A change of what's it? This is all very wonderful, I'm sure, but I was rather hoping to learn more about your nourishment provision facilities. In other words, where's the food? I believe both the knowledge and consumables you seek may be found at the Marial Agronomics. As I imagine Singing Way and others intend to study every conceivable facet of this apparatus, wouldst thou be so kind as to escort our visiting culinarian? Yes, that sounds much more interesting. Hopefully I'll be able to see firsthand some of the delicacies Oriange was telling me about. Even his incredibly vivid, if a bit too verbose, descriptions cannot be compared to sampling them myself. Not to mention, Aetheris will soon be no more, so I must learn all I can while there is still time. Let us brook no further delay. Let's get some grub. Still one more main place to visit. Definitely feels like we still have a lot to do within Labyrinthos. This is the place, yes.
Kind of seems like a lot of
Very good. Oh, yeah. Very much so. Which, you know, kind of makes sense. This is the place, yes. The heady aroma was enough to guide me here, and I've spotted several of the fruit and vegetables featured in our compendium. I'd dearly love to try some, but I read that those who help themselves to a farmer's crops without permission are often caught and put into pies. Perhaps you could ask whoever's in charge if they would be willing to part with a few samples. Peter Rabbit. I missed the Peter Rabbit reference. It's been so long since I've read Peter Rabbit. What a fine mess this is. Ah, it's you, the one who climbed down the mine shaft. I'd show you around if I could, but I'm rushed off my feet preparing for the exodus. And I'm not the only one. We've all got to find ways to do what we do down here up there. First on the moon, then on whichever star the Forum decides will become our new home. It's all so sudden, so unreal. Don't you want to go to the moon? Well, it's better than waiting for the final days to claim us. But no matter how carefully it's all planned, we'll never be able to take every variety of flora and fauna with us. Even the ones we can take may not survive in their new environment, so many species doomed to extinction. Sorry, that's not what you came to talk about, is it? Nothing quite so dire, I assure you. We merely wish to sample a little of your produce, if we may. By all means, help yourselves. Much appreciated, my good fellow. So, where to begin? What to eat, what to eat. Oh, I know what these are. Grapes, yes. Oh, man, they made a point of showing off the grapes. Let's see if they are as delicious as they look. They are quite clumped together. So sweet, so sour, the taste is much like a ripe philosopher's carrot, and yet the texture is entirely different. The contrast between the outer skin and the fruit within is most peculiar, though far from unpleasant. Yes, I think I'll try another. Well, that certainly has certainly given me food for thought, though in a far less visceral manner than any philosopher's carrot. But tell me, what is your opinion of grapes? I mean, out of these options, I'd probably go with I'd brave an erupting volcano. Because I like grapes. Yes, they are rather Moorish, aren't they? And from what I've read, quite versatile too. Something about people stepping on them to make intoxicating beverages, as I recall. Oh, I brave an erupting volcanoes reference to something Azam did in a short story. Oh my god. Anyway, that's enough about grapes for the time being. On to the next treat. Orange by name, orange by nature. I don't even see the oranges. Oh wait, there's one. What came first, the fruit or the color? Who cares? Let's eat. That is a good question, actually. Yes, that's... Equal parts sweet and sour as with the grapes, yet nothing alike. I may have to consult Oriange about expanding my vocabulary. I simply cannot find the words to describe it. Perhaps what I'm looking for is bitter. This is all very complicated, you know. So many flavors, so many choices, and each individual with their own personal preferences. Now I see why you all turned your noses up at the idea of eating nothing but carrots. Marvelous that they still are, in my estimation. Let no one say I said otherwise. But speaking of carrots, I've yet to sample any of the vegetables. Let's see what's in that field over there. Such, epic music, kind of, for vegetable eating. Basically, Azam wanted to save a town from a volcano, but interfering for that reason was forbidden, so made up an excuse about the grapes that supposedly only grew there and were amazing. Aha, that's fun. That color, that texture, are they some sort of enormous round carrots? No? In any case, proper nomenclature is less of a concern than the taste. Blech, it's so hard and flavorless. I may as well be chewing a piece of wood. That all but confirms it. These are nothing more than misbegotten failures masquerading as goodly carrots. I almost said godly. Stop. Can't you see these are pumpkins? And no one with any sense would try eating them raw. You're supposed to cook them first. Do you not find it an awful bother? Far from it. Cooking is a joy unto itself. And what's more, it broadens the range of ingredients that we may safely eat. But above all else, cooking allows us to draw out the full potential of our produce. Pumpkin stew has been one of my favorite dishes for as long as I can remember. Then perhaps even these hard blocks of plant matter can become as delicious as the orange I sampled. I wonder though, is there anything even more delicious? How about that yellow fruit over yonder? Please be lemons. Don't you find it a bother? Yes, it is lemons. Isn't there a meme going around about people drawing characters about eat a lemon and then they have like a super pucker face? I'd be shocked if Cooking Way doesn't have the same. What a wondrous fragrance. With luck, it'll have a flavor to match. As I've no idea how these are eaten, I'll just bite into it. Oh God. Ugh, my tongue, is this poison? My favorite variation is a car smashed in after the lemon. Nice. A lemon? You mean it's supposed to taste like this? How could something so similar to an orange be so revolting? It may be some time before my palate recovers from this ordeal. As such, I'd best call an end to this round of sampling. Let's say our farewells and return to the others. Finished, have you? I trust you found something to your liking. I'm rather enamored with the grapes and oranges, less so the pumpkin, though I learned the hard way they're not to be eaten raw. Then there was the lemon, the deceiver. I still feel so violated. First time, was it? I'd hate for you to leave with a bad taste in your mouth, in more ways than one, so I'll give you this lemon muffin I baked. If this doesn't change your opinion, nothing will. More lemon? Have I not suffered enough? Nevertheless, it would be remiss of me to spurn this opportunity to, bit of a sick came up there, learn more of your inscrutable ways. Very well, Lemon Muffin, do your worst. This ought to be cute. Boss title, Lemon the Deceiver. This is delicious! Although I still detect a hint of lemon, it complements the sweetness of the dough to create a perfect harmony. I never would have guessed its vile bitterness could be utilized so elegantly. My good chap, this is simply breathtaking. See, we rarely use lemon in its natural state, but it has a stirring role in all sorts of recipes, and the same is true for many other ingredients. It comes down to making the most of the resources at our disposal, and sometimes that can even be the difference between life and death. I know we won't be able to take every species with us. No doubt the Forum agonized over what was worth preserving and what will be consigned to history. Hard choices, but make them we must if we're to survive. Such strength of will. Now I know what Hydaelyn sees in your kind. Mankind, the Loporrits, we were both born from the accumulated knowledge of the ancients. They learned all there is to learn about the nature of sentient life and the fates of the stars themselves. Once a civilization has fulfilled the basic requirements for survival, it will inevitably seek to eliminate all forms of negativity and achieve perfection. And therein lies its folly and its downfall. For perfection is an unattainable ideal. 'Tis the paradox of the immaculate carrot. Yet civilizations since time immemorial have deemed the pursuit of perfection as progress. They pay no heed to the cost incurred in their futile quest, and all too often become the architects of their own demise, their dreams forever unfulfilled. What then is the alternative? The answer lies in knowing that our existence can never be perfect, to be content with what we have and make the most of it. I like that this is the overriding philosophy of Endwalker. Enjoy the little things. When life gives you lemons, make lemon muffins. Pardon me, Eorzean, but what in the seven hells are you on about? And who are you anyway? Cooking Way, at your service. I'm here to help prepare for the trip to the moon. And once you get there, you'll be able to try my carrots. I've been growing all different kinds. But don't worry, there'll be room for your crops too. We'll work together to preserve as many of Aetheris' species as possible, if you're up to the challenge. Yes, of course. I look forward to it. Well, this has all been highly productive, probably. Let's go and see if Urianger and the others have run out of machinery to inspect, shall we? Make life take those lemons back. Ah, yes. The Aperture Science way. Always a great way. Yeah, Portal 2. I'm impressed you got that. Since you can't really play it. Mm-hmm. You learned about the cake. Good night, Nawa. I'm not sure if you're still here. Oh, you went to bed as well? Okay. Good night, both. Close to 5,000. That was most enlightening, especially the part with the lemon muffin. Actually, I was wondering, do you know of any other places famed for their cuisine? I'm gonna go with Limsa. Yep. The more I learn of Aetheris, the more I wish we could spare it from the final days. Alas, Hydaelyn's orders are to flee, not to resist. If only there was a way. Alright. And we're going to have to call it there. Not the nice clean break that we've had in the past, but these quests are definitely getting longer. Oh, and just so everybody knows, since Amy typically farms after our sessions for the yokai, though she's not going to tonight. She's too tired for that. So we're just going to end it there. But that was Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. We'll be back in 2 days on Wednesday to do even more. Probably get through the 88 quests and just see how it goes and beyond. Have no idea what's really coming up. Still some long ones coming up. I was thinking at the rate we were going before, I thought we'd be able to finish this week, but it seems like it's going to be next week that we're going to finish up Endwalker itself. Still making good progress. All feels good. Let's see who we can raid real quick. And once I get word from VMN and Alpha on our final decision, we'll set that up for... we'll try to figure out a time and place and what we need to do for it as soon as possible. Looks like the only person we can raid on my lineup is Shellshock playing some Mario Party Madness, which is always a charity thing. Nice chaotic time there. We could probably do that. 2 dungeons and 2 trials left of the main story quest. I see. Okay. Let's do... let's just do Lemon Muffin. Nice and simple. Alright, that will be that. Thank you all so much for being here. Hope to see you on Wednesday for more Final Fantasy XIV. Otherwise, don't have a different game to play until Sunday with Devil Survivor Overclocked. So, yeah, absolutely look forward to that. Hope to see you then, and take care. Until next time, everyone. Bye.